system. No, I must place the unions in proper place for people to understand. Hello and welcome to the program. I am DEJI360 and thank you very much for joining us. Now, 2016 was no doubt a very tough year for most Nigerians, but we're now into the new year, and of course Nigerians are hoping 2017 will bring good tidings. Tackling the recession is one of the major promises made by President Buhari in his message to Nigerians on the last day of 2016. The president assured that the economy will gather steam as soon as possible, and also keeping in line with his election promise, the federal government has flagged off its monthly stipends payments to the poor. Under the program, government will empower 1 million poor and most vulnerable Nigerians with a monthly stipend of 5,000 naira each. Now, the program, which is under the government social investment program, had in December 2016 engaged 200,000 youths with a monthly payment of 30,000 naira under the Empower program. Spokesperson for the Vice President Laulu Akande said the first batch of payment would cover 9 states. Akande said the 9 pilot states were chosen because they had an existing social register that successfully identified the most vulnerable and poorest Nigerians in those states. Now, the states are Borno, Kwara, Bauchi, Kogi, Oyo, Ogun, Ekiti, Cross River, and Bauchi. He added that the Buhari administration had commenced the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, where soft loans ranging from 10,000 to 100,000 naira had been designed for artisans, traders, market women, among others. Now, some Nigerians are already questioning the indices used to collate those considered as poor in each state and how the state governments arrived at the figures given to the federal government now, I should say. Now, several questions are still being asked, like, will the system be transparent? Will there not be fictitious name on the list? What are the modalities that will ensure that the system is not corrupted? Meanwhile, in the midst of this economic recession and mass poverty, the Ebonyi state government has finalized plans to start the payment of monthly stipends to former lawmakers in the state and former local government chairmen. Governor David Umahi said the decision was taken so as to carry everyone along in his government, especially the political class. Now, this decision, the governor said, will be backed by law from the State House of Assembly. Governor Umahi said he believes the step will encourage beneficiaries to help develop the state and create wealth. Now, this is quite surprising. It's not done in any other state. We've never had it. Well, joining me to discuss this and more, 2 legal practitioners. Adeola Samuel, he's a legal practitioner and also a political analyst, and Olarewaju Ajanaku, who is also a political analyst and a lawyer as well. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming on the program. I think we should start with this quite surprising development in Ebonyi State, where the state government has decided to pay stipends. In the case of the federal government wants to pay stipends to the poorest in society, but the Ebonyi state government now wants to pay stipends to former lawmakers and former local government chairmen. It's quite surprising, especially at a time when we're saying, look, there's no money, and we all know that the Ebonyi state is one of the poorest states in this country.
I disagree with you.
No, it is.
Oh, well, one thing first and foremost is that it is laughable that the Governor Mahi, is coming up with this decision to be sanctioned by the State House of Assembly.
So it's going to become a law?
To make it a law. Well, there are so many other things that the man should concern himself with. Will you want to classify a former State House of Assembly member, a parliamentarian, or a councillor in the state, to say that, or a chairman of a local government, that person, while in office, was poor or is now poor in this dispensation? It should not be. There are other better things to be involved with money, to do with money, not this frivolous. Well, I would want to say that perhaps it is an avenue for him to want to begin to curry part of the money, it stays money somewhere. Because I believe that the only way you can help the society, the only way you can also help these lawmakers or former lawmakers or chairmen, as the case may be, would be for you to bring up something, a program for them that they will be able to participate in and be able to make money, and not just begin to, distribute the money that is not actually readily available to these people. I think it's uncalled for, and it's very laughable.
Let me get your take on this. I mean, because some people will argue that, look, it's their money anyway, and the governor is in charge. They have a right to use their money the way they want to use it.
It's such a pity that Nigerians have been so impoverished to the point that they cannot even raise a finger against any injustice done to them. As far as I'm concerned, I can put it to you that the man is doing himself a good in apparent reference to 2019.
Yeah,
you're beginning to see different kind of alignment, political rigmarollings, and kind of jojo as we approach.
So he's basically softening the ground.
It's because of that, nothing more. He has no other motive. It's not because he's pitying them. It's not because they lack money. It's not because, but he felt that they have become an orphan ever since they left government, and he has, one way or the other, jettisoned them in the course of governance. Now it is time for him to bring them closer to himself, doing such good. Look at Amosun himself. Amosun has been in government for the past how many years? Maybe 6 or 7 years now.
Plus, yeah.
And he's now paying severance package for people that have left in the year of Daniel. That's about 6 years ago. That says something. He just approved severance package for them.
In the case of Ebonyi State,
maybe there was no money available then for Amosun too.
Okay, now there is money now. And those gigantic and elephant projects he embarked on that made some of us left our office on Alagbole and make people to be suffering. They are there. There was no money to feed him. So such money cannot be diverted.
Maybe that of Ogun State can still be justified because you called it severance package. I mean, in this case, in the case of Ebonyi, it's not severance package.
Oh, we don't have record.
Yeah, it's
not
not
severance package being paid to them.
Well,
so perhaps
former lawmakers, former local government chairmen. I mean, this has not been described. They are known. It's not been described as severance package. What the governor says he is giving to them is a monthly stipend. A monthly stipend. And what is quite disturbing about this is it's going to become law in that state. So it means it continues.
No, it's still a proposal. It's a proposal now. One thing that is certain is that...
But we all know what happens when a proposal comes from the governor.
Because, you see, when it is
and the passed, lawmakers are going to be beneficiaries. What do you expect?
No. Let us... It is still a proposal, I would say. But let us wait and see if indeed these lawmakers will not be abreast of developments in the country.
You think the lawmakers will kick against it in that
because it has said it won't... What the law is saying that it will be for those who have left.
Yeah, we don't know. Some of those lawmakers we know would not be coming back. So
they won't leave until another 2 years or so.
But at some point they'll become former lawmakers and should be entitled to these stipends.
That is why we have people who are there. There are people who will kick against this, and I'm sure that as we speak, some other people are also will go to court to challenge that.
I'll strongly disagree with you. I don't think any of the lawmakers will kick against it.
It might not be the lawmakers, but people are there. People who feel that they are using the resources of the state.
Can I put it to my learned colleague that how many people have gone to court to challenge the money, the pension money pains to the governors and the
governors? But one thing they don't know, that might not be an individual, but there are organizations.
How many organizations have gone to court since 1999?
My brother, I am telling you, I am telling you
and
that
have now been extended even to Edo State.
Serap has gone to court. Let us await the outcome of what the court is going to say.
Anyway, but
the only thing I've mentioned one to you now.
Anyway, but hold on. I understand what you mean, and I think, but somehow I think beyond political correctness now.
Yes.
Fact is that yes, we might have a situation where a group or an individual goes to court, but it still doesn't change anything. There's no way. I just can't see how the lawmakers would not pass this law with speed.
And at the same time, I did not see how the person that went to court, the group that went to court, will have to upturn what the statutory power given to the lawmaker to make law, which are not inimical as it were to the society.
But the fact is that I don't think Ebonyi State can actually sustain this, because you have to look at
when it comes to sustenance of that which benefited them, don't rule it out. It will be sustained. The only people that will suffer are the projects, are the benefit that will be accrued to the poor electorate. Anything they approve for themselves. Let me give you an example of what I meant. In Osun State, in Ekiti State, in other states that are owing salaries of workers, how many of them have refused to pay themselves their security vote, which is not even statutory? They collect it every month.
It's really quite sad, because I know Ebonyi State has some of the poorest of the poor in this country, and Honestly, I don't think it
that
makes
is
any
his
sense
priority.
at all.
Let's just put it that way.
You know,
That
this
is what
will
he
be
considers as his
But let's,
priority.
let's turn our attention
well,
now.
I
Let's
don't
turn-
see it that way.
Okay, but let's turn our attention to something else. The stipend now that the federal government says it will be paying to the poor, of course, beginning from this month. What's your take on that? I mean, 5,000 naira going to the poorest of the poor, and of course, the Empower program has actually started.
Yes.
30,000 naira. You know, for those who are qualified to take part in the Empower program.
Yes. I want to say sincerely too, that's my belief, that the government has taken the right step. One of the things you need to do is the government has, even there's a social contract between the people and the government. If there are basic things that needs to be provided for now, and you cannot do all, you can't take care of them all at the same time.
You have to start
You need
somewhere.
to start somewhere. This is a good step. Imagine, see the qualification, the poorest of the poor in the society. There are indices for measuring who should qualify to be among the poorest of the poor in this country. It has not been segmented. It has to go around the entire population that we have in this country. Now, what are those things that will be considered? You have people who are feeding on 101, you have people who feed on 001, and you have people who can barely even afford the 001. These people are in the society, we know them. One thing that I believe that the government has done has been to, like, I won't say Lagos State might not be part of them now, but it's going to go around to say, well, yes, we have indigents in this state. Let everyone come to register in the state. We want to know you, who you are, what do you do, how many kids do you have, what kind of work are your children, are they grown up, are they little ones, is your husband alive, is he dead, or is your wife alive, is she dead, and all that. So by the time you come up with all these statistics, you can determine by even what they tell you, give to you as per what they receive as income. Do you understand? You will also be able to verify whether indeed what they have given you, the data supplied to you, is actually correct. You can confirm. If someone says, well, yes, I do menial jobs, where do you do menial job, where do you work? And you can ascertain all this. But
well, the hope is that these 9 states now have done all of that, since they have register.
They have the data that have been supplied to the federal government, and the federal government is saying, well, yes, we believe this. Let us start with this as a pilot thing. By the time we start fully, we should be able to, because the state has done the background work and has supplied to the federal government. Now let other ones take cue from what they have done and then be able to also come up with names. But one thing is certain: for everything being done, there will be abuses. But
definitely
there will be checks and balances. Once you have found not to have qualified in the first place, because it will be abused totally when the names are supplied and you don't go back to do your background checks. Once you go back to do your checks, you will be able to sort out those ones who really ought to be and who ought not to be. By the time you do that, you remove those names, and perhaps if you have that machinery in place, to be able to charge those ones for falsely declaring that they were poor or among the poorest of the poor when they were not.
Do you have concerns? Do you have concerns now about, you know, the statistics or the data now, the process of collecting the data for you know, the poorest of the poor?
Most definitely I do, because the whole thing was shrouded from the public, and how it wasn't publicized. One, it was not made known. They just came out to say they now have 9 states with social security records. Be that as it may, I just believe that, like my friend said, that abuse is imminent to something that you know that the purpose.
There always will be abuse.
There will be abuse and abuse.
It's also
but be that, like I said, I don't know why everything in this country is done secretively. Because I don't know when they start gathering their data from those 9 states, as it were, especially the state they mentioned there. Don't forget, they mentioned 9 states. They said the only 4 states that they have started with, mainly Borno, Bauchi, Kwara, and another, you know, not central state. I think Kogi. Yeah. How? When do they get those data? We don't know. We only had that 1 million. That means those 9 states comprises of 1 million people, or is it 1 million from each state?
But if this thing will work, I mean, it's all left to all of us to make it work.
Yeah,
It's better than doing nothing.
That is, in order to make it work, in order to see it to be working, the process must be transparent.
But,
that's all.
But
Like
they didn't just start now. This
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's been on for quite a while. Those ones who were diligent.
And they have been saying that they are. But what I am saying is this: it should be transparent. The process of getting the data, the social security data of those that are qualified, should be transparent.
Perhaps because
even in the state that they claim that they have the names and the data. Some of the people living in the state were like wondering where did they get the numbers in the first place?
Some of them.
Yes, because those are the people that have access to wherewithal to speak out, that we could hear them.
Those ones,
you understand?
Those ones that spoke.
The people within the stratas of those people they choose as the poorest of the poor. We still ask the question: how does Baba make a name get there and my name was not there? Is he more poorer than me?
Well,
all these things we see them because the process was not transparent.
The fact is,
I don't have anything against it. It's the fulfillment of what they promised.
At the very beginning, like the stage we are now, you don't expect the process to be.
It won't be perfect.
If the foundation is destroyed, what would you say? How would you blame?
Why do you have
built on a faulty foundation?
Why do you have what we call trial and error?
Trial and error for 4 years?
No, they are just starting. If they have started now, you have identified errors in the process.
They knew the errors now.
No,
why do they have?
They are starting.
We can absolutely say
that now. They are starting.
They started this.
By the time they continue saying, no, you started on a faulty note. You shouldn't have done this.
So that is the correction. That nice state, who will correct it thereafter? There are beneficiaries in the nice state, and we are hoping that between now and the next 6 months, they will jump to another nice state or more than nice state. Now, as it goes, we are talking about 2018, where they will not have time for anything but politicking.
That's your choice.
It's a roller coaster, political roller coaster in the country. What are we talking about? We're talking about.
Maybe my friend is a politician, a legal practitioner, politician.
I'm not a politician. I
am talking like a politician, or you are very close to them.
I am open to Nigeria. I'm not a baby to electoral.
Let us be very pragmatic in our approach.
Pragmatism needs objectivity.
Objectivity is in pragmatism.
Yes.
That's why we are saying let us have a pragmatic approach to starting.
Exactly.
That is what I'm saying. They have started now.
Pragmatism means objectivity. For
you
to be objective, you must look at the pros and the cons.
That is why
if the foundation is faulty, then you are going to build.
I'm saying for you to be objective, are you not going to have a starting point? This is a starting point. To them, it's a very good ground, veritable ground for them to proceed. They have started, and they can build on it.
There's something else I also want us to not to forget, that apart from this, what is going to the poorest of the poor as stipends, we should also not forget that you also have the Empire program. We've talked about that.
Yes.
And that there's also another program where artisans, traders are giving loans ranging from 10,000 to 100,000.
You know what that would do? Now it will make money go round. For few people, you have forget barbers. You have people who weave baskets. You have
That's
people
true.
who, in
and
their
for
own,
some of these people,
way,
what they actually need to sustain
shoes.
their business is so small.
Yeah, exactly. So in those there are little ways, they will be able, of course, they will be. By the time they start these little businesses, they will be able to sell you, the big man on the road, who will buy from them. They'll have money from you to sustain them. From other people, they also have money with them to spend. That is how this wealth will go around.
I just believe there is going to be a mechanism to check how the money is spent for the purpose that was given.
Yes.
Because going by Nigerian
that is why we need people of high integrity.
Well,
they will be there.
They've said
no. I'm not talking about people that would disperse the loan. I'm talking about the recipients.
Oh, of course.
The fact is,
for you to even benefit,
we should also not forget.
That's why they said artisans.
It's not as if the loans people will just be called and just say take.
No,
there's a process, and besides, it's a loan anyway. It's not as if you're giving the money as a dash. You're supposed to be paid, so it's a loan. But fact is that there's no doubt at all that look, this process is not in any way smooth.
Yes.
But It's a start.
It could get better.
But there's no question that some people want to take advantage of this. But if this has to work, we as Nigerians, we just have to come together to make it work. And of course, if money goes round, that's a process of rejigging the economy. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your contributions. And thank you very much for coming. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll be talking about the crisis in southern Kaduna. That's in not central Nigeria. Sorry, not West Nigeria, I should say. Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on DEJI360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.